everyone. Welcome back to the Lovely Freaks podcast. I'm your host, Amanda.
And I'm Hannah.
And today we have a bonus episode for you guys. Woo woo!
Yay!
Yeah. So, this is a bonus episode, and obviously we're posting on Wednesday.
Okay.
So, this episode is kind of off script. We don't really have anything we're going to talk about, as far as like a story from someone else, but my sister is going to tell her story, and then I'm going to kind of tell my story, because some of you guys were kind of interested in what she said last on the Voodoo, what was it?
Voodoo
episode?
Queen?
Yeah.
Voodoo Queen.
The Voodoo Queen, y'all were kind of interested when she mentioned something about a little ghost girl. So, anywho, you can take it away.
Well, I wanted to do this because some of my friends listened to the podcast, and they were like, what's this thing about the little girl? And I was like, oh, that's a lot to get into, so I figured an episode would be better. And this is a story about a little ghost girl that I've seen for a long time in my life, and you don't have to believe it. Like, if you don't believe in ghosts and all that stuff, I mean, why are you even listening to this podcast? But, I'm just telling my story just because maybe, also I want more information about the little girl. Maybe somebody knows something about it.
Yeah.
And also just to tell.
Well, I will start off with saying, because I can say this because you probably don't remember, but when Hannah was little, so we're 10 years apart, and when she was probably 2 and 3 and 4, so obviously I was 12, 13, 14, so I was old enough to remember this. She would sit in the hallway at our house and look up at the ceiling, kind of like in the corner, and she would just talk to somebody. Like, we didn't know who the hell she was talking to, but she would just talk to somebody, and a lot of times we would see her talking to somebody, but it wasn't like, it never felt like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Like an imaginary friend.
Imaginary friend. Yeah, it never felt like that. It was always like up in the ceiling for some reason. And me and Mom, like our mom, we always just thought it was like an angel, or maybe it was a ghost or something like that. So that's the only thing I remember up until what you remember that you might not have remembered. So
I don't really remember that, and they told me that recently. I never knew about that about myself. But okay, I'm just gonna jump into it. So the first time I saw this little girl was when we were at our cabin. We have a cabin that we have built somewhere in Mississippi. I'm not gonna tell you where, but
well, I will say this because this might kind of help. It is on. We're not gonna say where. But it's on the Big Black River in Mississippi, which if you do know any history about that, then you know that like a lot of different wars and things were fought near like Vicksburg area and stuff like that. So that's all I was going to say.
Yeah. And this was when I was about maybe 13 or 14. I was very young. We were in our cabin, and it was nighttime, and Amanda was there, and everybody was there, the whole family. And we were sleeping downstairs, and because it was like during winter time, and we had the heat on, and the heat rises, and there's upstairs, like the downstairs is our living room, and you literally like look up, and there's like a upstairs that's like a balcony, pretty much. And we decided to sleep downstairs because it was really hot, and it was the middle of the night.
Who was upstairs? Was it Mom and Dad?
No, nobody was, because we took the bed from upstairs and we took it downstairs because it was so hot up there. Yeah. So I was sleeping, and I had a dream that there was a little girl, and she was upstairs, and she was like crisscross applesauce, like holding on to the bars and looking down at me, and like had this evil grin kind of, and was like saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. And so I woke up, and I looked up, and I saw the little girl, and she was just staring at me with like this smile. And I freaked out, and I like looked again, and she wasn't there. Well, I didn't sleep that night because I was like, okay, well, maybe it was just my imagination. It was just a dream.
Yeah.
Like, Maybe I just saw her for a split second. Well, then another time when I was about...
What did she look like? What was she wearing?
Look like?
Yeah.
She, okay, this is very generic, but she had like brown or blackish hair. She had like a white dress on.
Was it long or short?
It was long.
Long.
I remember it was long. And she looked like she was like between like 12 or younger.
Yeah.
And she was super pale. And I remember she had these eyes and this smile that was very creepy and very unnatural that I just remembered for a long time. Like, I couldn't really remember her body or what her body looked like, but I remember distinctly like her face. So then skip ahead when I was about 17 or 18. This is a long time. My boyfriend that I had at the time, his name's Gage, and he was with us at the cabin. This was the first time he's ever been at the cabin. And so he was sleeping downstairs and I was sleeping upstairs. And I always wanted to sleep with I always slept with my parents when we went to the cabin ever since that day, because I just wasn't comfortable there. I felt like every time nighttime came along, I felt like a huge weight on me, and I just didn't want to sleep by myself. Well, since my boyfriend was there, I wasn't going to be a chicken, and I was like, yeah, I'll sleep upstairs by myself. Bad idea.
And also, let me interject real quick. So the cabin that she's talking about, before anybody's like, well, maybe the cabin's haunted. Well, we built that cabin. Like, my mom and dad, and Hannah was, I think she was either, my mom was pregnant with her, or maybe she was a baby. But I was only like 10, so I didn't really help, or maybe I was younger than that. But my granny, my aunts and uncles, so we built that cabin. So it's not like it was lived in by anybody else previously, but however, I mean, the land could be haunted or something like that. And then, like we said last time, our granny likes to buy stuff from antique shops, so a bunch of crap that's in there could have come from antique shops. So
haunted in some kind of way.
So anyways,
well, I was sleeping upstairs, and there's a mirror that's like on the wall, and I was facing the mirror when I was sleeping, and
it's actually an old dresser. So like a really old dresser, and it's like there's drawers, and then there's a mirror, and then you open it up and it's like a little tiny closet, and our granny has like pillows and blankets and stuff in there. I've always been freaking creeped out by that dresser, especially because like the mirror's right by the bed.
Yeah, and
you
like,
can
see always feel everything behind you.
And if it's days, I'm going to roll over and I'm going to see some eyes under this bed, and it's going to be bad. I'm going to break every bone in my body trying to get up out this bitch, and it's going to be bad.
But like, I had a dream again that she was standing over me, but I saw her in the mirror in the dream, and she was telling me to wake up. She kept screaming, wake up, looking at me with a smile. And when I opened my eyes, she was in the mirror. And I rolled over real quick, and she wasn't there again.
Bitch, I'd have died right there.
And I was like, I was terrified. I was thinking, oh my God, I was shaking. And I went downstairs to sleep. And I didn't tell Gage, because I'm not going to. I wasn't telling anyone because I thought I'm crazy. Like, this is just happening at the cabin. I have a weird vibe there. It's fine. Yeah. Well, another day. So this was when me, Gage, and my parents went camping, and we have a camper. Now in this camper we have a dining table that folds into a bed. And then a couch that folds into a bed. And they're right next to each other. And the dining table, when it folds out to a bed, there's like a huge window that looks out. And so...
And then our parents sleep in the back.
Yeah. So Gage was sleeping there, and I was sleeping. And
Gage was sleeping on the
Gage was sleeping on the table,
yeah, where the big
and I was sleeping.
You were sleeping on the couch.
On the couch,
yeah.
But
they're right beside each other, yeah.
And I woke up, and I looked, and I saw that she was crisscross applesauce, sitting looking outside the window, like at the feet of Gage.
Like she was on top of his feet.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And this felt like this felt like it was an eternity. Like, I felt like I was looking at her for an eternity, but it was probably like a minute, maybe like a couple seconds.
Yeah.
But I was looking and I was like, okay, no, this is just a shadow. Like, I kept looking at her thinking, okay, this is just a shadow. This isn't real. This isn't real. And then she turned slightly, looking back at me, and then she vanished. And that's when I knew, oh, no, this isn't a shadow. This is actually something.
Yeah.
And she just vanished, and I got up.
And you knew you were, like, awake at that point.
Oh, yeah. I was fully awake. I was like, I was just sitting there like, okay, this isn't a dream. I didn't dream about her. This is real. Like, I just was staring at her. And when she turned her head, I mean, my soul left my body. Left my body. I sat there and I was like, oh my God. I woke up Gage and I was like, I was crying, and he was like, what, why are you crying? And obviously I had to tell him.
Yeah.
So I just told him, like, oh, I've seen this little girl, like, in the cabin every once in a while. I didn't tell him much detail because I really didn't want to talk about it.
This was the first time you had not seen her in the cabin.
Yeah.
So it probably freaked you the fuck out.
It did freak me out.
Because you were like, okay, maybe the cabin's haunted maybe a little bit, but now you're like,
she's following
me. Yeah.
So after that, I started, like, in my room, like, it would be late at night and there would be, like, something moving under my bed. Not like, oh, I think there's, no.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like, something
you told
moving
me this,
under
and I was
my bed.
like, girl, hail to the no.
Like, I even got up and I went to my dad and I was like, I think there's an animal under my bed because there's literally something moving stuff under my bed. So my dad checked, there wasn't anything. And this would happen a lot. It would happen, like, maybe, not like frequently,
not
like every
night,
week, but like maybe every month, like twice a month. And it got to the point where I just was like, I just talked to her and I said, look, I want to go to bed. Please leave me alone. I'm sorry about whatever happened to you, but I want to go to bed. And then it started, and then ever since I talked to her, she started whispering to me. Almost, like, frequently, like maybe 5 times a month, like a lot. She would whisper in my ear and she would say, wake up. Wake up. And I would wake up and I didn't see her, but it was like, when somebody whispers in your ear, it's not like, oh, like, I hear that in the distance. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
No. Like, it's close to your ear, and it feels like everything stops. All noise stops, and you just hear her, and she's just saying, wake up.
Wake up. And is it like a, wake up? Or is it like,
it's like
it's a whisper
she's
type.
Like, wake up. Like, you've got to wake up. You can't go to sleep. And ever since I first saw her, I have this immense fear of people watching me when I sleep. Like that.
Yeah, you've always had that ever since you were little. Yeah. Or,
ever since that day.
Probably, yeah.
But
I never knew why. But now I know,
Now you know why.
No.
I just told people, I'd be like,
well, I've known about this for a while, but when you told me, I was like, oh, well, that's why.
Yeah. And I would just tell people, I have this fear of people watching me when I sleep, and they're like, that's weird, but it's to the point where like I watched a movie with Gage one day.
Lights Out.
I watched Lights Out. If you don't know what Lights Out
I watched Lights Out, and I told her, I was like, yeah, that was a dumb movie. Like, it was really, like, it was kind of creepy, but I thought the short movie on, I think it's still on YouTube, that scared the shit out of me. And the movie was really not that great. And she watched it, and she was like, no, that was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
And I was like,
because
really?
She was watching her while she slept. Like, we watched the short, me and Gage, and this was like when we were first dating.
Oh, that did scare me. That creeped me out, yeah.
And I cried, like, bawled in front of him. And he was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, I'm sorry, that's just like my biggest fear. And he was like, you've told me that's your fear, but that's like, okay, well, damn, that's your fear.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
I
legit.
will start tearing up just thinking about it. So then Gage spent the night one day at our house in a separate like room, like in a guest room, and I slept in my room. Well, he got up in the middle of the night and he came in my room, and I was like, what's wrong? And he was like, I just can I sleep somewhere else? And there was like, in my room, there's like a separate room that's kind of like a guest room.
We built, when I was younger, well, not super young, I got pregnant with my son when I was 18 and still living at home with my mom and dad. Second semester of college, it was great. But anyways, so I was young, so I was still living at home with my mom and dad, and so we built like another smaller little room for him when he was a baby. So that's what she's talking about. It's kind of like her guest room now, attached to her room.
Yeah. So he was like, and there's only like a little couch in there. It's not comfortable. And he was like, can I please sleep in there? And I just was like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like his legs had to be hanging off. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't like it was good.
And so, and he's never really slept there before. And I was like, the next morning I went to him and I was like, hey, why were you sleeping in there? What happened? And he was like, oh, it's stupid. And I was like, no, like, tell me. And he said, I was asleep and there was this little girl and she whispered in my ear and I just felt kind of creeped. Like, I swear I heard a little girl whisper in my ear and I just got kind of creeped out. And I looked at him and I said, did she say wake up? And his face dropped.
You said he turned like pale.
Like he turned pale and he was like, what the fuck? How did you know what she said?
Yeah.
And I started like tearing up and I was like, because that's the little girl. Like, she's been telling me to wake up too.
Yeah.
And that's when I went to Mom and I told her what's been happening. And she was like, well, when you were little, you used to see things. And I was like, oh, well, great. I never knew this.
Yeah. I mean, you'd never told us when you were like 2 and 3 and 4, like what it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did see you, like I said at the beginning, looking at stuff.
I just started telling Mom and I told you and y'all told me that. And I was like, and that's when I believed. Like, I was like, it's gotta be. Cause like, I would understand if, oh, okay, I just woke up and I'm just seeing things. But the fact that he literally saw it. I never told her what she said.
Told him
what she said. And he told me exactly what she said. Like, I told her exactly what he said. Like, what she said, and he was like...
So you didn't even... Like, when you freaked out in the camper that time and told him, you didn't tell him she kept saying wake up?
Because she didn't say wake up when I saw her. Oh, okay. So I really didn't say... Like, I was just like, I've just seen her, and I kind of... Like, oh, you know, maybe I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want them to think I was crazy or something. So I was just like, okay, I'm just tired. But after that, I told him everything. I told him, yeah, she's been telling me to wake up multiple times. And then after that, I got really creeped out. I didn't sleep for a long time. I mean, I already have immense trouble sleeping.
This was recent. This was when he saw it, this was probably, 6 months ago?
6 months ago,
yeah.
And I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping. I've already, like, even when I was little, I would sleep on the couch a lot till I was like 12 because I just felt like someone was watching me when I was sleeping. I always felt that.
Now, let me tell you guys what I told her when she told me that. Like, so she told me when she was telling me this whole, story and about the girl and everything, somehow you got on the subject of in Mom and Dad in your bathroom, in our guest bathroom. Yeah. You always feel like somebody's watching you. And I was like, me too. Like, even when I was growing up there and when I lived there. And by the way, this is also not a house that is old. I mean, this is, it's a trailer and we bought it. So it was brand new when we bought it. Now, the land that we live on is really old. I mean, or my parents live on is really old. And, it's been in the family for a long time. So, but yeah, the bathroom, I've just always felt like somebody was watching me. Even when I was in my room when I was a teenager, like, I always had this fear or something that someone was in the corner watching me. And I told Hannah, I never had that in my house, like in my house, like in my old trailer when I lived on the property. But now in our house where we live now, in this house, I've never felt that in this house. But I've always felt it in that house, which I thought was really strange. And you said that you kind of felt the same way.
Yeah. Let me tell them about
Tell them about the bathroom situation.
The bathroom situation. Yeah. So after that, and it might be because I was sleep deprived. I don't know. I'm saying that again, but like, damn. Okay, yeah, it's real. I need to stop thinking that. It's because I was just, I was just sleepy. Well, I was in the bathroom and I was washing my face. Wasn't even thinking about her. Just washing my face, and someone literally grabbed the back of my hair, like on my neck, and pulled. And someone whispered, "Shh," in my ear. And I dropped everything. I ran out of the bathroom. Crying. And I was crying, and I was shaking, and I was like, "Mom, like I told her everything that happened." This was only like 4 months ago. Yeah. I was like, I told her everything that happened. I was like, "Mom, like someone literally grabbed my neck." It wasn't like, "Oh my God," like I think I felt like a small tug. No, it was like a kinky, like, "Let me grab your neck, girl," kind of thing. Like, "Let me grab the back of your hair and snatch you." It was that hard. And I was like, no, something grabbed me. It wasn't just, no, this was real. Yeah. And then still, even, like, I even thought about it last night, about, like, we should do a podcast, and I was thinking about, well, what was I going to say? And even when I was thinking about it, I couldn't sleep last night. Yeah. Because I was like, I can't, she's going to, like, look at me, she's going to stare at me, I can't do it. So it's just been this thing that's followed me, and I don't know if I want it to go away. Like, I've talked to her.
But you don't ever, when you spend the night here, because
I don't feel like that when I'm here.
Yeah, because she spent the night a lot during COVID, like when it was pretty ramped up or whatever, because, I mean, we don't go, at that time we weren't going anywhere and seeing anybody, so my sister would come over and spend the night, so, and she would say, she never felt anything, and even when Corey was gone, he left for a good, like, couple weeks or something like that. You spent the night and you still didn't feel anything. So I don't know.
It's not just, and like, I've spent the night at people's house and I've never felt anything.
Have you been back to the cabin recently and felt it?
I haven't been to the cabin so long. Yeah. I just, that's another reason I just can't go back there, and I can't sleep. Like, I've never just had a good sleep because of what happened. And I really just want to know what it's about. Like, I've talked to her, kind of like just sat there and been like, "Look, I'm sorry about whatever that's happened to you, but this is like, I can't sleep anymore. I can't keep going through my life."
And to anybody out there that's going to be like, "Get a Ouija board." No, thanks. We're good.
Thank you. No.
We're not doing
I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not, and I don't want to contact her, like, candles and get somebody, because I'm just too scared that I'm gonna.
We don't want it to be like something evil or something like that, which I don't really think that it is, but you never know. I mean, it could be.
But why does she tell me to wake up? That's the thing that scares me. Like, did she sleep? Did she die in her sleep or something?
Well, one thing I was thinking was, what if it's like, and some people might think this too, like, what if it's a type of, like, manifestation because maybe you have some sort of sleep apnea when you sleep? Yeah. Maybe you're, because I think Daddy has sleep apnea or something like that. Mom says when he sleeps, like, he'll, like, catch his breath sometimes, so she thinks he stops breathing for a minute. But he's been tested for sleep apnea, and it came back that he didn't have it. But, I mean, I don't know. But I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Like, what if it's something like that?
Or like, I was thinking.
But Mom said she's never heard you, like, do that. Like, gasp in your sleep. Like, you.
Maybe she thinks I'm going to die in my sleep. Maybe I die in my sleep in the future.
Or maybe she died in her sleep. Maybe that's why. It's just a weird, that's a weird thing. Wake up.
I just kind of want her to go away because I want to live my life. Like, I just want to sleep.
So I just want to sleep.
And it doesn't happen. The weird thing is that it happens yearly. Yeah. Like, not like every year. Like, it happens every couple of years. But now that I believe it, it's been happening frequently, like every couple of months.
Yeah, and after she told me, like, what was going on, and she told me about the little girl and everything, then I started seeing shit in my house. But it wasn't ever, like, at first, I was seeing stuff. I guess I'll kind of tell this part now. So, because this was, like, right after you told me about the little girl, and I was standing at the kitchen, and I saw, we have 2 windows in our kitchen, and they kind of look out onto our garage. And so I was standing there and I saw kind of out of the corner of my eye, I felt like somebody walked by because I thought, okay, well, the mailman must have put something at my door because, you know, there was like a black figure that walked by. And then I went to my door and I was like, okay, there's nobody there. There's nothing there. So I thought, okay, well, maybe it was just my glasses because I do have black rimmed glasses, and you know, sometimes there'll be like a black blur on that side. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's probably what it was. Well, then it happened another time, and it was our sliding glass door to our outside to our backyard. And the sliding glass door, I just kind of walked by to go to the hallway or whatever, and I thought there was somebody who was standing outside the door, like kind of walked by the door. I was like, okay. But again, I thought, okay, maybe it's my glasses, you know, I wasn't really looking at it hard. Well, then the next morning, that was when Isaac wakes up, and I tell him about the two shadows that I've seen because Corey wasn't here. I think he was gone on a mission or something.
Yeah.
And so Isaac says, you guys, first of all, I'll explain what I said to my son. But he was like, yeah. And when I told him about the shadows, he was like, he got this look on his face like, what? And he said, I went to the kitchen last night to grab something to drink. And when I walked back by, he said, I saw something that looked like a man standing outside the house, like standing outside the sliding glass door. First of all, I was like, son, if you ever see some shit like that, come wake somebody up. Because there could have been like a murderer standing outside the door, and you're just like, he said, no.
I wonder what that is.
He said, no, I just ran to my room and shut the door and got under my covers. I was like, no, let's not do that again. So, anyways, I told him, I said, well, that's really weird, you know, and so we didn't see it or anything like that. So, yeah, so I told him, that, like, yeah, if you see something like that, don't, you know.
Just hide under your covers.
Don't just hide under your covers, come tell somebody. Because, I mean, I didn't care if it was a ghost, fine, but I needed to know it wasn't a man standing outside trying to break in our house. Yeah. Because somebody has stole his bike before from the front yard, so, which I think that was probably like a punk kid in the neighborhood, but, you know, just tell me. So that was that. And then I think this was the same day, or this might have been the next day. I go to the grocery store after I drop the kids off at school. I get the groceries, I come back home, and I'm putting everything up. So I'm putting stuff in my bathroom and Alan and Isaac's bathroom, so on and so forth. And then I put something in the counter, because our bathroom has, what's it called? Not drawers. Cabinets. Our bathroom has cabinets. So I put something in the top cabinet, which is where we put like our hair stuff. And in the kids' bathroom, so you have to walk down this hallway when you pass the kids' bathroom. And I put it in there, and then I remember going back to the kitchen to get some more stuff and take it to our bathroom. I think like toilet paper or something. I know I was able to find toilet paper. It's a miracle. That's the miracle of this podcast.
That's the miracle of this podcast. Okay, guys.
Toilet paper, woo! So anyways, no. And so as I'm passing by the bathroom, because I'm walking down this hallway, I hear something go like I'm going to use this. Like that. Okay. In the bathroom, in the kids' bathroom, or guest bathroom, whatever you want to call it. And as I'm walking by, I just think it's the cat. And I swear to God, I saw something like the cabinet door was open, because I just like glanced real quick and looked into the bathroom and kept walking because I was like in a hurry. And as I glanced real quick, I swear I saw this black figure standing there like they were trying to get into the cabinet, and the cabinet door was open, and I thought it was the cat. So I was like, one of our cat's names is Logan. So I was like, Logan, get out of the cabinet, you know. And I just kept walking to my bedroom and going to put my stuff in our bathroom. And then when I come back to the bathroom in the hallway, the guest bathroom, the cabinet was shut, and there was no cat in there. And I was like, what? Like, I just stood there for a second, and I was like, no, that's not what happened. Like, that freaked me out, because I was like, I distinctly remember
leaving
the cabinet was open. No, I didn't leave the cabinet door open. Or maybe I did. I don't remember that part. But I know I freaking glanced my eyes in that bathroom for like a split second, and it was open. And there was like a figure, some sort of shadowy figure in there, but I assumed it was the cat reaching. But then I got to thinking about it. I was like, he can't really... I mean, he can stand on the toilet and kind of reach, but he's really not that long.
Yeah.
It was the top cabinet, so he could reach the middle cabinet, but there's no way he could reach the top cabinet. And then our cabinet is kind of out from the sink, so he couldn't have been sitting on the sink and reaching around, because that would have been really, like, impossible. Like, Super Cat or something. So yeah, but that's the last thing that I've seen. And it was weird that all this happened in like a week span, and it all happened after Hannah told me about the little girl.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I haven't seen anything else since then.
Maybe she like, because I did stay at your house for a long time. You stayed at our house,
yeah.
So maybe she followed you here.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, that's all I've seen. And now we did, when we first moved into this house, which this house was built in 1966, so this house actually was like an older house, but I haven't had any like creepy vibes from this one. I haven't had any like heaviness or anything like that.
Yeah.
The only thing that did happen when we first moved in, which we think maybe it was probably the cat, was we had that cross over there, which is sitting on a windowsill in my bedroom right now. But it was over there on our dresser when we first moved in, and somehow it got knocked off and flung over here to this dresser in the middle of the night. It could have been a cat, but at the time we didn't have... Well, we did have Kramer, and you know, he was kind of crazy sometimes. Yeah. Like, he would, like, in the middle of the night, he would go, like, banana shit crazy, like, wanting to mess with stuff. So, I mean, it could have been him, but that was the only thing that had ever happened. But yeah, so I want to think that was it. I feel like I'm missing something that happened,
I'm missing something.
But I guess not. So yeah, I never saw the little girl or nothing like that. And Isaac, I can't believe he did that though. I told him, he's like, I was just trying to get out of there.
Yeah. Honestly, me too.
I mean, I would have been the same way, but I would have ran to my parents' bedroom and been like, "Oh my God, there's somebody standing outside!" I would have been like freaking out. I'd have woke everybody up in the house. So yeah. But anyways,
well, if anybody has any information about or experienced the same thing, kind of, like, where did you say the cabin was?
The cabin is close to Vicksburg. It's on the Big Black River.
Yeah.
And so this little girl, she has black hair or darkish hair.
Darkish hair, maybe 12 or younger.
Yeah.
And if you have, like...
But I don't really
any
think...
information. Like, she could be from the 1800s.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I don't know.
I don't really think that it's attached to the cabin or in that area. I think it was attached to something that Granny bought, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff in that cabin that is really old too. There's a lot of stuff in that cabin.
Did she remove stuff
from the cabin?
Yeah. Did she remove like those voodoo dolls, and that's when it started?
No, those are still.
No, they're still there.
They're just still there. The only thing she took from the cabin was that chest in there that she gave me. But that chest has been our family for like ever, like generations. Long time. I mean, if anything, you'd think that thing would be haunted. I mean, it even looks like it would be haunted. You open it up and there's like pictures of like older 1800s pictures in there, and yeah, you would think that would be haunted. But as far as I know, it's not.
But if anybody has any information, I would like to know, because I just kind of want to know what's going on, and I want to know more. And also, tell us your story. Like, tell us a ghost story that you have. Or like a dead relative that you've seen.
Yeah.
Because I believe in ghosts now. Like,
I believe ghosts and angels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mom is already said that she thinks she saw something in her bathroom. Remember when she was sleeping?
Yeah.
And she woke up and she knows she was awake, but there was like this bright light in the bathroom, but it was shining out towards, and she says that she saw that there was something with like wings and stuff like that. So she thinks maybe it was like an angel. She claims that she was awake, but I don't know about that. But she might have been. I mean, she swears that she was awake, and she swears that she saw something like that. But, you know, that was not too long after our Uncle Todd had passed away. So, I mean, it was like probably 6 months to a year. So she thought that maybe it was that, you know, at first. And, but yeah, if you guys have any ghost stories you want to tell us or anything like that, don't forget to write in. Y'all haven't wrote in yet, and don't be shy. You know, write in, tell us your story. And even if you don't really want to put like super details in there, if you don't want to put your name in it, you don't have to. You can be anonymous. I mean, it doesn't matter. We'll make up some names. But yeah,
Bob said that Billy Bob said.
That's Sarah. But anyways, so yeah, if you guys have any stories, and I hope you guys enjoyed this bonus episode. You're still going to have your episode on Friday, so don't worry. But this is just a little thing that we are going to try to do, maybe not every Wednesday, but we'll try to get it in, you know, some Wednesdays we'll have some bonus episodes for you guys. So yeah, comment down below, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified every time we make a video, and I guess we'll see you guys next time. So, bye.